Well, good evening, Joe.
Hello, Charles.
How are you?
I am great today. Where I live in New South Wales, it's been raining for days. So
And
we're
we've
wet, but not cold. No.
and we've had beautiful sunshine here in Melbourne today, and a lovely 26 degrees. But tomorrow we're getting rain.
Oh, yeah. Well, we are trying not to flood. That's the main thing. We're hopeful for this week. I live in Repton, but people may know the town Bellingen. So that's where I live in New South Wales.
So welcome. So welcome to the first episode of the Charles and Joe Show.
Yes, welcome. This is so exciting. I'm very happy that we're joining together to do a little the Charles and Joe show. Thank
I
you
agree, Joe.
for
So
wanting
you,
to be with me.
oh, thank you for inviting me and asking me on this amazing journey. I'm full of joy. I'm full of love. We're going to make this be so special for everybody that's going to watch. So this is
Yes,
good. So a bit
absolutely.
of a background. You're in New South Wales, and I'm in Victoria, in Australia. So you're in Ballingen, or just off Ripton, and I'm in Atwood, near Melbourne Airport. So we've got some of the east coast part of Australia covered.
Yes, absolutely. And how did we meet?
Wow, that's an interesting story, Joe.
Yes. Well, we met through a mutual friend called Belinda. And I was at a retreat that Belinda was running, and you were more of a practitioner there.
I was doing the class that you were all doing, but in the teacher training
That's
position. So I had to do it one on one. So I was shadowing Belinda whilst the group was learning what I'd already previously learned with Belinda once on an occasion before. So it was very
yeah.
interesting.
Yes, and that was that in
That was
Peninsula?
in Dramana at the Mornington Peninsula on a 5 day retreat. Remember the 5 day retreat?
Yes,
Um, that was very happy times. It was very happy and a very joyous, and the group was just full of amazing people that were at
yes.
different points in their journey. So it was a very special group of people.
And that was I think that was 2017.
No, I think it was before that.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah,
Because I
okay.
think I've known you a bit longer, but let's investigate that, Joe. I'm going to investigate that. If it was
Okay.
2017, that means that was a busy year for me because I've done lots of trading in 2017. So it could have been. It could have been. But
Well, it
I'll have
might
to
have
have a
been
look.
18. Might have been 2018. Oh, yeah, because I had that was my first year of alchemy. So it may have
Okay.
been 18 or it might have been 17. Mm,
We'll have a look. We'll come back to
we'll
our
double
viewers and let them know.
check.
Let them know. So
So
this is
cool.
good. So Joe, tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. What is it that makes your heart sing?
Oh, I love helping people. So I'm a clairvoyant and I guess a holistic counselor as well. So I see people I'm very blessed that I own a wellness center in Bellingen called Alchemy in Bellingen. And there I see clients for, it would be a clairvoyant reading um, or a healing, like a chakra healing, or I do this amazing thing where it's a massage and a metaphysical massage and a healing and a reading. For me, I love when I drive home and I've made a difference in someone's life. So I've opened or sometimes people are a bit dull when they come to see you and life has gotten a little heavy for them. So, by me helping them bring back their light in their eyes and bringing joy and giving them a bit of a spring in their step so they can face life again in a positive way. So, that's my thing. Um, I love running spiritual courses. So, I run a clairvoyant course most years and I started doing retreats this year. I also love doing an inner child course. And I love doing meditations for people. So I've got a few meditation recorded as a subscription. And very exciting this year, I'll launch a book, which is sort of like an oracle card deck, but within a book. And there's meditations attached to it. So that's in a nutshell. Personally, I've got two children that are teenagers and a husband. and three naughty dogs, and all rescue little kids. So that's me in a nutshell.
That keeps you busy, Joe. That keeps you
Very.
busy. You've got lots that goes on, and you run Alchemy in Bellingen. So not only do you work there, but you've got practitioners that work there with you, and you organize that. So you're a busy soul. You've got a lot to do.
Yeah, I have to say, my husband Elliot generally runs the the show, and I'm the ideas girl, and Elliot's the implementer of things. So Elliot runs the front ends for, so then I can purely be a practitioner. So yeah, so but there's about 12 practitioners within our clinic. So yeah, so it's a big clinic, but we're very blessed with the practitioners that within the alchemy team, because oh, they're gifted. We're very blessed. How
Because
about you, lovely Charles?
you attract what you put out. Does that make sense? So you're blessed with your practitioners, but that's the energy that you also put out. It comes back to you in that respect.
Yeah, and on Wednesdays is our day where Elliot and I, we try not to do work too much, but we're reflecting today, and we're organising a dinner, because out of the 12, I'm pretty sure seven or eight of them have been with us for more than 5 years. So
And that
that's
says a
like
lot.
heart joy. So
Yeah, that says a lot.
yeah. Mm.
There we go. So who am I then?
Who are
So
you,
this is me.
darling?
I'm Charles. I run a spiritual business called A Mighty Moon. I've been doing it now for over 10 years. So I met Joe, as we said, at a Belinda Grace. I was doing teacher training, but I'd done that class before in New South Wales, of all places, in 2014, I think it was, because something inside of me said, I had this epiphany one day, and it's like, you can't just, when you cross over, you can't just lie in a box. There's got to be more to this. So my passion was past lifetimes, and there was a little element. I don't know if you remember, Joe. There was this little element that we did with Belinda about past lifetimes, and that was enough for me to go and do this class. So I studied clairvoyant healing with Belinda Grace, and then that really opened me up to more of the spiritual awareness. And it was so funny that I struggled at the start, but then I actually had this passion for it. It's like, I've got to do more, I've got to do more. So I did that. And then I did a tarot class, and then I did Egyptian healing classes, and then I did very high energy class, Palawa, which I really, really love. Because it moves people if they're stuck in energy and they don't know where to go. You give them a bit of a Palawa. And my other passion is a QHHT session, a quantum healing hypnosis, which is a 6 hour hypnotic regression back into past lifetimes. And then you bring in their higher self. So I do that. I've been doing that um, since 2017, the QHHT. And like you, Joe, I really like it because it's a case of somebody walks in, but the person that walks out is different. They're
Mm.
lighter. They've shifted something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it makes them feel like, I've been listened to, I've been heard. Like you, Joe, sometimes we get guidance from spirit and we get things that we need to tell them so that they can make their life experience a more profound one and a more uplifting one. So, yeah, so I've been doing that. In daytimes, I work at a beautiful crystal wholesale business in Port Melbourne.
Mm.
So I balance it because my holistic work is something that I absolutely love, but it's not something that I see myself doing full time all the time, if that makes sense. I really like the social aspect of connecting with people that like crystals and different aspects of the metaphysical world. So yeah, so that's who I am, and I absolutely love it. I love what I do with the passion. So that's why we're here, because we want to share this joy that we have with our
Absolutely.
viewers that want to, be a part of that too, or be a part of something bigger.
Yes. Absolutely. And I'm so blessed because I I feel like, I really think Charles and I have had past lives together.
I
uh,
agree. I agree.
yes, because I know when I met Charles, not in not in a way of that attraction of like more than friends, but in a way, a love of like, oh, I already love this man, in a friendship way, but that love of that heart connection was there, and that was pretty profound, because I do have them, but with you, it's I could travel the world with you, and I know we'd have a great time together.
Of course. And I feel the same way. So I think when we first met, Joe, energetically, there was this connection. It's like my energy knows your energy, and I want a piece of that again. Does that make sense? I
Yeah.
understand that you're a higher vibrational being. And I felt the same way because there was so much fun with us in
Yes.
that class. It's like when I connected with you, Joe, I thought there's something special about Joe, and it's like, and I always want to be connected with that. Does that make sense? You've
Yes.
got this a beautiful gift, but your energy is just so beautiful and nurturing that I thought, yeah, there's something special about this woman, and I've got to maintain what that is that we can create together. So
Absolutely.
we're very
And here
special,
we
but
are.
like yourself, Joe, I'm very blessed because I'm supported by a husband that allows me to do these metaphysical things that he doesn't understand them, and it's not his cup of tea in any way, shape, nor form. But he lets me go and play in the spirit world. So, like you've got Elliot, I've got Sean, and we have such a beautiful support network behind us that allows us to do us. Does that make sense? And that's
Yes.
a big thing.
Yes. And Sean has a beautiful heart. Beautiful heart.
Yeah, like Elliot, we're very blessed that the people that we've chosen in our life path support
Yes.
us in every aspect. Even though I might think, "Oh, this is going to sound crazy," but I'm going to go and do it anyway, and he'll go, "Okay, great, just go and let me know how that goes." And it's just like, "Okay, fine, that's what we do."
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Elliot, with all of the things we've done in our life, Elliot's always been very good at backing me and supporting me in my little adventures. So, yeah, so we're very blessed that we have husbands that support us
Yeah, we're very lucky. We're very
and
lucky.
respect
So, Joe,
our, yeah.
no, sorry, go on, finish that.
Oh, and respect what we do and honor
Yeah,
us and yeah,
they don't judge us. There's no judgment. There's just
no,
like, okay, if that's what you've got to do, dear, go and do it. And it's like, okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we creating here, Joe? What's the Charles and Joe show all about? What was our initial creative ideas, Joe?
Well, I feel like we wanted to create like a community to help provide the light for others. Um, and I guess for me, my guides were really wanting me to be more braver and be more seen this year because I can do great work in my little healing room at Bellingen, but it was like, no, it's bigger now. You need to be bigger. And when I did that meditation with my team about that, they were saying, you and Charles should start a podcast together. And I was like, oh, okay. So I have no idea how to do that, but I'll reach out to Charles and see if he's keen. And here we are.
And here we are. That's exactly right. So viewers, this is new for us too. This is a journey that we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. And that's what I always say to my customers. When you're uncomfortable at something, that is your growth. That is
Yes,
where the magic happens. So that's exactly right. I agree. We're creating something for ourselves and we're building a community of people that want to join something that is bigger than themselves and wants to be uplifting. We want to uplift people and show
yes,
people that the world is actually such a positive place to be and such a positive place to live. It's just sometimes the channels that we get our information from can be quite dense and quite heavy. So we're going to show you different ways of dealing and being. So this is what we've decided. I agree with you, Joe. The universe said to me, Charles, when an opportunity presents itself, your answer is yes. It's not I'm going to think about it. It's not no, it's just yes. So I've said yes to a lot of things and it's like, oh my goodness gracious me, what am I doing? But like you, Joe, it's pushing us to be better.
absolutely. And I think, we've been doing this for quite some time, more than 10 years. So I think it's time where, we're being called of service to do more.
I
Universe,
agree. I agree. I agree. And this is really nice because we're actually putting ourselves in front of the camera. Usually we like to be behind the scenes and just make things work. And what this is allowing us to do is new viewers might be finding us so that they feel, oh my goodness gracious me, I like the energy of Joe or I like the energy of Charles. I want to connect with them and possibly look at what can they, facilitate for me? What can they hold space for me for? So this is
yeah,
a positive aspect for that as well.
yes, fantastic.
Good.
So
This is
yes,
good.
no, it is very good. And um, I guess tonight, did we want to talk about our topic tonight of how we can stay in our light or techniques to, ground ourselves, feel good about ourselves?
Yeah. Joe. This is Joe's idea, and I love this, Joe, because this is something that I talk to my clients about all the time. So, techniques for remaining grounded and being present in everyday life, and being
Yeah,
able to maintain the light that you have within you. And
yeah,
this aspect. This is a big topic, Joe, because it encompasses a lot of different aspects of your life. Does that make
mm,
sense? So, I
absolutely.
always say to my customers, the biggest technique for remaining grounded: go outside.
Mm,
Sit on the grass on the front lawn, hug a tree, hold a tree, sit up against a tree, because it makes you present. It's the first thing that
yes,
makes you present. Where am I sitting? Is the grass wet? Are there spiders around me? Is there a bird that wants to poop on me? What's going on? It's making you present because I'm not thinking about work. I'm not thinking about next week. I'm not thinking about what am I doing for dinner.
yeah,
Being present is really, really important.
absolutely. I know because I live near the beach. I always say to the clients, if you've had a really bad day and you keep ruminating about it all the time, if you have a shower or jump in the ocean just for a quick swim and a dunk, it just realigns your energies back to, not to like divine creator energy. So you're purging all of the overlaid energy from what you've gathered from that day.
Yeah, and we do the same thing, and particularly at where I work as well. There's a lot of other people
Yes.
around the buildings. Like there's a psychologist above us, so sometimes
Oh,
the energy that comes around the building can be quite dense.
yes.
So we use a lot of salt as well. So if people
Yeah.
are finding that they can't, go for a swim or have a shower, we have salt by the sink at work. So we actually wash our hands and rub salt with cold
I love
water,
it.
and it helps
Yeah.
cleanse your energy. Does that make sense? So that's
Yeah.
a good technique. I love being outdoors. Dark
Yes.
chocolate, dark
Yeah.
chocolate. Now, when I
Perfect.
say dark, 70% and higher. None of this 40%, that's just full of sugar. Go 70% or higher because the chocolate, the cacao comes from the earth and the cacao wants to ground you.
Mm.
I actually got told that by a medical doctor who was a very spiritual practitioner. So in the classes that I learned with him, he had copious amounts of dark chocolate. Go and ground yourself, have a piece of dark chocolate, bring you back to center, and it really will pull you back into your body. So
Yes.
that's another technique that we use. There's so many, but the outdoors is the one that I find really works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, Another good one, Joe. I don't know what you do. I don't watch the television anymore.
No, not
There's too
often.
much confusion. There's too much confusion. So television. So this is really interesting because techniques for remaining grounded. When you're watching the news, when you're watching all of these shows, they're just bombarding you with stories, and sometimes it's just heavy. And it puts you into a state of fear and worry and concern. So what I try and do is we spend a lot more time now on YouTube, and we watch some really weird things. Though I love the Eurovision Song Contest, so we watch all the songs on the Eurovision Song Contest. I like to cook, so we watch this amazing woman in New Zealand, and she cooks this amazing food. So we watch that. Um, my passions are also aviation because I worked at Qantas for 26 years. So I'll watch just planes take off and land all around the world. There's live streams. This is just me distracting myself from the noise of everyday life.
Absolutely. I very rarely watch telly. Sometimes I might get, um, if I feel like my brain needs a little rest, I might watch a series or something. But
Yeah,
it's very rare. I'd be lucky to watch one series a year. For
yeah,
me, I'm pretty creative, so with some girlfriends, I've got a little pottery shop. So I like creating pottery, and often lots of techniques come through, or healing comes through when I'm being creative with my hands. So yeah, so I'm very lucky with that. I don't often watch telly. No. So the other thing that I find also is that lots of people, when you ask them where they're facing, they're often their thoughts are facing backwards, meaning they're, thinking about all the things that past relationships,
yeah.
and that creates a lot of anxiety or regret or not good vibrational things. So often I kind of go, we need to look forward for your bright future, not digress back and constantly think of negative things about of your past.
Yes.
Mm.
And I agree, Joe, because I say to a lot of my customers, they look at the past and they look at them as, I've wasted so much time, I've wasted so much energy. And I always say to
Yes.
my customers, nothing is wasted. Nothing
No.
has been wasted. That's an experience that you signed up for a particular reason. And I say to them, as long as you've learnt the lesson in that time frame, whatever that, it might have been a relationship, could have been a work, could have been a job, could have been whatever. I said, as long as you've
Absolutely.
learnt the lesson, put it to bed now because you're not going to repeat it. And now start moving forward in your life. We can't change it. Let's not dwell in it. And then you start
Absolutely.
moving forward. But the key is also, don't look 12 months down the road. Don't look 10 years
No.
down the road. Look at what am I doing today? What does today look
Absolutely.
like?
Yeah.
Because if you can do that, that's a really positive place to be. Another way that you can remain grounded, and this might sound so silly, is through food. Now,
Yeah.
stop eating processed food.
Yeah. No good.
There's so many artificial things in it.
Mm.
So I've been ketogenic now for 2 years. So every Saturday morning, you'll find me going to the greengrocer or going to the butcher to buy my meats, my vegetables. Saturdays all day, cook, 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 so that I've got fresh meals ready to go in the fridge. So I just do lunch and dinners because I don't eat breakfast, I fast. But I've got them all there ready to go. So then my time is mine, but I know I'm eating quality. I'm not eating anything that's got chemicals in it or it's been sprayed. And it's not hard, it's not easy for everybody to do that because a lot of people have time poor. If they've got kids, they might have running around on Saturdays. But I would say to people, if you can start just planning or doing a menu plan, even if you don't cook it all at once like I do, but do a menu plan so you know what you're going to buy. So you can buy, fresh vegetables or frozen vegetables because they're just as good, and meats. But don't go and buy things that are marinated in sauces and
Mhm.
stuff like that because it affects your biology. It affects your stomach, and your stomach is your second brain.
Yeah.
So be kind to your stomach because if you can keep your stomach in balance, that helps you stay in balance. It helps you stay grounded and ready to go. So
Absolutely.
there's lots of things. And do you meditate a lot, Joe?
I am. Well, how I work with my clairvoyancy for me with my clients is that I meditate in the morning. And generally, on a normal day, I'll see probably 5 people per day. And normally, my spiritual team will go, okay, so this is what we need you to talk about for first person. So they'll just go number one, number two, number three, number four. Because often I try not to look. I know that I've got clients, but I don't need to know who they are because then it's more organic what channels through for me.
Yep,
So yeah, so normally I'll go number one, and then so the morning meditation is more about for my clients and what I need to
yep,
talk about, and thankfully it's like a little storage area in my brain, and they go number one, and then when I'm sitting with number two, they'll all download about what I need to say to them, and then in the evenings if I've done like a FaceTime call for the way I do it, I often always say to them, oh, at 9:30, I'm just going to check in with your energy just to make sure, more like remotely.
yep,
So if I want to do a chakra balance on a FaceTime call, I would do it then. Um, and if anyone's gone through anything really traumatic with me, I would do like to check in the evening to make sure they're okay. Um,
yep.
and yeah, and then the evening meditation is more about for me, if that makes sense.
Good.
But
Yeah.
yeah, what about you, lovely Charles? Do you meditate
I
often?
only meditate. So I always meditate before a client arrives. So unlike you, where you might get your five lots of information and stuff, I do that for each client. So I build in some time before each client comes. And
Yeah,
then it's really interesting. As soon as I've meditated, it's like I've opened a door and their
perfect.
spirits come in, their people come in that might have crossed over.
Yes,
And then it just comes. So as I'm in the session, they just keep dropping things into their head. Tell me about this because this is what they're telling me, stuff like that.
yes,
Every now and then I feel like I need to do meditations for me.
yeah,
So I follow a lot of people on YouTube that I really like for meditation purposes. So that helps me keep grounded. It helps keep
yeah,
my light high. Um, so yeah, I do like 3 or 4 meditations a week. And the people that I follow are only very quick, half an hour, 40 minutes, if that. Sometimes they're
perfect.
even quicker, 15, 20 minutes. So it just depends on what time I've got. But that's a way that you can keep your mind clear, so that you can have more light coming through
Mm,
your channel the whole time. Because that's what it's all about, keeping your light bright.
yes.
So yeah, yeah.
Um, Also on my website, Alchemy in Bellinger, if you go to courses and meditations, there's 3 free meditations there. Like there's a chakra balance, a purge meditation, and a rainbow one. So
Yeah.
if anyone wants to have a free meditation, there's some on my website there. But I find that, the other way of feeling grounded is living in gratitude.
Yes. Definitely,
Because,
Joe. Definitely. Being grateful for what you have and what you can provide, what's been provided for you.
yeah, even when I go to the toilet, and this sounds funny, but when I press the flush button, I thank the divine creator for placing me in a country that has a flushing toilet. Because
Yes.
I've been to countries that don't, and you're grateful for being in those holidaying countries, but it's just nice to have a flushing toilet.
And that's the thing, Joe. We take so much of what we have for granted.
Yeah,
And it becomes an expectation. So I understand that there's a gratefulness in thank you for providing me a toilet that flushes, which allows my house to be clean, and then I'm not going to get sick and all of those types of things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whilst I don't often drink tap water, I've got a filter system, but we've got the choice here in Australia that we could drink our tap water if we wish to.
Yes. Yes, that's
So,
exactly right. So we're very blessed with what we have compared to some
yes,
other countries in the world, and that's where you're right, and that's where we need to be um, grateful. Gratitude is a really big thing. The other really good thing that you can do to remain grounded and to help clear out the day. So if you had a crappy day, is journaling.
yes,
And I recommend this to a lot of customers. Get a journal, get a pen, and just write down what you felt and just let the words flow out onto the page. Doesn't even, I don't matter, I don't care if it doesn't even make sense to you. Put the words out. Because what you're actually doing is you're actually allowing the day to be debriefed onto the paper. You're
yeah,
getting it out of your system, helps clear it from your energy. And it's a very
absolutely.
special thing to do. So I think, and if you can end your day in your journal, today I'm grateful for,
Mm,
does
very
that make
good.
sense? You might have purged a lot of heaviness from your day, but today I'm grateful for. So you always finish it on a positive. I'm
Absolutely.
grateful that, you know, I had meal, I had a dinner, I had food on my plate. I could provide that or whatever it was. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
special. There's lots of little things that you can do
Yeah.
to maintain your light.
Oh,
There's lots of
absolutely.
things and yeah,
And sometimes another suggestion is, especially, sometimes when you've got off the phone from someone and you go, oh my gosh, they were so draining. Or
yeah,
you've caught up with a friend and their intention was not to be um, drain your energy, but perhaps, you were invested in that conversation more because they were hurting and you were trying to be empathic and help them. But you've walked away and you think, oh my gosh, I need a nap, I'm tired. So what you can also do is you could call in Archangel Michael to cut the cords and clear the energy. Sometimes people can feel him with his sword cutting. Other times, for me, it feels like he places a blue net over me and collects all the negative energy and takes it away from me. So
yeah,
sometimes clearing away other people's overlaid energy from you,
yeah,
especially also like sometimes you can have had a conversation even last week and you're still thinking or connecting in with that, and that can be sometimes because you're thinking about them and they're thinking about you, which isn't a bad thing, but sometimes it feels like they're taking up too much space in your head. So by asking Archangel Michael to clear it out, and send the person's energy back in love and light, that then can clear and help you be grounded and present in your own energy, not someone else's energy.
yeah, I agree. And if you know in advance that you're calling somebody and they have a tendency to be a little bit heavy, ask Archangel Michael to come in before you take the call or make the call. Does that make sense? So that he
Yes,
can actually protect your energy from being extracted from
yeah,
yourself. I
yeah,
do another little technique too. I
yeah,
listened to this amazing woman, and she said to me, "Do two words. If you're in a predicament and somebody's coming in that really wants to take your energy, aura up. Two words, aura up, and it's like an invisible force field comes up, and they can't come in and take your energy. And I've tried it. I play with it, and sometimes when I have some, people come into my space, if I don't protect myself, like you said before, I walk away drained. So if I
mm,
know they're coming in, I start my day with aura up, protect my energy, and I'm still bubbly by the end of the day because they haven't
yes,
been able to. withdraw any of my energy from themselves.
Perfect. Yes,
Yeah,
great one. Yeah, I often ask Archangel Michael for a blue cloak of protection, just to
perfect.
keep me, yeah, safe and protected from everyone's energy.
Yep.
When people see you, they don't intentionally want to drain your energy, but people are really curious about what we do.
Yes.
Um, and so they really connect in with you, which you would like your clients to do that, but
Yes.
sometimes by just buffering your energy, I often will put a column of white light between myself and my clients, just so
Yep.
then um, they're taking the beautiful divine creator's energy, just not my energy.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly right. And that's one of the techniques I actually do when I do a healing for people. If they
yeah,
feel like they've been drained energetically, I disconnect people from their energetic field,
yeah,
plug them back into the universe's energy so that the people that are draining don't feel a drop in energy. But the person whose poor energy system has been depleted, we fill them back up, but they're no longer got these people connected to energy that
yes,
they are being drained by. So it's very,
yeah.
very special. Another technique that you can do for remaining grounded, and I work with them every day, are crystals. Crystals have an
Oh
amazing
yeah, I got
ability
one in my
to
hand.
ground you. What have you got
Yes.
there, love?
Um,
Is it a
I
howlite?
Yes, that's it. Halite. Yes, yes. And then my other one I
Beautiful.
like playing with is my pink rose quartz. So
Oh, rose quartz,
yeah,
very good for self-love. But if your mind's running away from you, I will always recommend to people smoky quartz.
yes.
Garnet. Garnet is such a beautiful
Oh,
stone. It's such
love
an
that.
underrated stone. I love garnet.
Yeah,
Like tourmaline,
beautiful.
because they're heavy. So the darker colors, the browns, the blacks, the earthy colors, are going to want to ground your energy.
Mm,
Um, People like obsidian,
mm-hmm.
and I'm really wary of obsidian. It's black, it's shiny, it's not volcanic. It can be very sharp, so be very careful with obsidian. But obsidian will also want something back from you. It wants to ground you, it wants to protect you, but it wants you to release an emotion at the same time. So if
Mm,
you're in a state that you think, oh, I don't want to do that, I just want to be grounded, garnet, tourmaline, smoky
yeah.
quartz, beautiful. Um, they're my go-tos that I would love. And shungite, I mean, shungite's one of my favorite crystals.
Yes.
But crystals are a really good way to ground you, help turn your mind off. So they're very, very specials in these troubled. The world's gone crazy, Joe. Do you feel like the world's gone crazy?
Well, I think the world is a bit overwhelmed with there's so much uh, negative press. We'll say it that way,
Yes, yes,
and it sent a lot of people into fear. And
yes,
a part of me why I wanted to do this is to lift everyone's vibration up and just keep everyone else in their own lane. And if they create their own little Garden of Eden within their life, well, the world's going to have an amazing vibration because we're all living in gratitude, grounding, purging, all those things. And then, you know, we will be more light than dark, which is what we're
yeah,
hoping for.
totally agree. Another thing that we need to really tell people about with grounding are these things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the telephone. What this does is because people are constantly scrolling, their
Yeah.
nervous systems are being shot to pieces. Does that make sense? So the
Mm,
nervous system's always looking for that hit, 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 hit. So we've got to sort of detach from the devices if possible and where possible, because people's fuses are like this big at the moment. Everybody's very quick to go into a rage. Does that make sense? Or I'm
yeah.
angry, or
Yes.
I want to fight the world. And that's because of the scrolling. It's this. Nervous systems are
Mm,
short. Attention spans are super short. So if you can limit that, and there are some great apps. There's an app called Minimalist, and
mhm,
Minimalist takes away all the color from your phone so that you're not getting those hits of color, so that you don't want to look at it as often because it's black and white. So that's a really good app for people that are finding themselves addicted to the telephone. Pop on the Minimalist app because it'll start to change what you see. And on Instagram, there's a great group that started off in Europe and is branching out all over the world called the Offline Club. And this is where
oh,
people are reconnecting with people and they come together, and they might just be reading books together, or they might be doing gardening together. And they're putting all their devices away because the world's starting to realize I need to have like a digital detox to
mm,
help get it away. And if you find your mind's running, do yourself a favor, put your phone down, even if you start for half an hour. And then the next day you go, I can do 45 minutes today. I can do 1 hour. Your mind is going to thank you because you can just breathe and just be present.
Mm. And
So
I
special. There's
often,
so much.
yeah, I often say even to my kids, just put a 20-minute timer on your phone. When that's up, then that's enough. Like you won't get any more dopamine hits because your brain, it's the first 5 minutes that you get it. It's after then you just keep trying to search for it, but you never get the
It
hit
never
back again.
comes.
No.
Correct.
So
And you'd be
yeah,
surprised how quickly that 20 minutes goes. It just goes like that.
very so quick. And I think I often say to my children, when you get to heaven, you don't want to, if they do a sum up of your life, that you don't want to get them, you don't want the angels in heaven to say you've spent 74 years, or not 74, but 35 years of your life looking at your screen. Like, I think that there's so much in the world that it can offer. And I think also for a lot of people, especially when they're feeling vulnerable, they get online and everyone's life looks so glamorous. And
Yes.
if they're at a weak or a fragile emotional point, then that amplifies that they're not where they want to be in their life. And I think
Yes.
that it's creating a whole lot of emotional distress for people, where it's an illusion. What people put on their Facebook pages is nothing that their life really is.
Yeah, because you never see them crying in the corner. You never see them at a depressed state. You never see them, you know, angry or upset. You only ever see people on a holiday. You only ever see people out at dinner enjoying themselves. So they're not. So you're only getting half the picture. You're not getting the
Yeah.
side where they're depressed, flat, sitting in their pajamas on the couch eating a tub of ice cream.
No.
And this is what people, that's such a valid point, Joe, because that's what people need to realize. Social media is only selling you one side of the story, and the story's not real. As you
No.
said, it's the illusion of this is what my life's like. No, they don't see that, Joe works, 20 hours a day, 6 days a week to make her business grow and flourish. They don't see those sides. They just see, oh, look at her, she's so fantastic. They don't
Yeah.
see the hard work and they envy what other people have. But yeah, they're envying the wrong things. They just got to look at themselves. It's like my husband always says to me, stay in your lane.
Yes. I always say that
Stay
all the
in your
time.
lane. Stay in your lane because we're all here to have different experiences in our lifetime. Just do you. Stay in your lane so that you can have that experience. Disregard what everybody else is doing.
Mm. And I
And that's very
often, one of
important.
my mentors used to say to me all the time, racehorses don't win races looking at the other horses. They stay in their lane.
That's
And
exactly right.
yeah, yeah. So it's not. Oh, there's my little Alchemy and Bellingen website page. It's not. It's also about. I talk a lot about to people about like a false positive, where it looks positive, but it's not. Like, do you know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
we all
exactly
as
right.
humans have bad days, without a doubt. And I think I'm really honest when I've had a crap day. I'd say it, where people are a little bit shocked, but I just think, well, it's real. You can't be, um, you can't you can't sugarcoat everything. You've got to be real, like you
But
know.
that's your body also having to feel emotions. And
Yes,
some of the emotions that we need to feel are called sadness, anger, despair. It can't always be joy, happiness, and love because that's only one side of the emotional body. But you also need to feel the other side so that, today I'm having a bad day. And I don't know what you do, Joe. When I have a flat day, I call it like a flat day or I'll call it a not so good day. I sit on the couch and I'll either read or I'll listen to a meditation or I'll just watch my aeroplanes. And people need to understand don't feel guilty if you're investing in you for a day by staying on the couch. No, 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 no. The human body needs that. The human
yeah,
body needs that recharge. And I would say don't make a habit of it. Don't do it every day of the week because that's going to lead you to depression. But every now and then, have a day for you. And that could just be I'm on the couch, I'm watching Netflix or the Bathurst 1000, whatever it is so that I can do me. And then tomorrow, let's get back on with it. Do you know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, I call it a day in my pajamas.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree. It has to be something for us, that
Yeah.
allows us to do us. Does that make sense? So
Mm,
whatever that looks like. So sometimes I just want to have a quiet day. So if I'm having a
mm.
quiet day, I'm just going to go into the kitchen and I'll do some cooking. So I like to make cheesecake. I like to make chocolate mousse, or I like to make hot cross buns. And that's just me going into, like you said before, with your pottery. It takes you
Yes.
into that creative zone. So I'm jumping out of the left brain, coming into the right brain, allowing
Yes.
this to open up and flow. And what that does is it just says to me, okay, now I can get creative. Now I don't have to follow anything else. It's like I'm disconnected from the world and I can just do me and I can play mad magician or mad chef or mad scientist and just get creative with everything. And that
Yeah.
really fills my heart with joy. So, yeah, it's very,
Yeah.
very interesting. But honor
Abs-
yourself. Everybody has to honor themselves.
yeah. And the other thing I think also is, people can sit in anger for so long over what someone has done to them, and it's okay to be angry, totally. But it's when you've been angry for 5 years at that person, you've spent so much energy being angry at them, where sometimes I say to my clients, we need to either do a purge letter, and you're not going to give it to them, you're going to burn it. On a full moon is perfect, but any time's a good time to purge. I often see oracally when people come in, it's like they've got, like 5 big jumbo suitcases full of negative energy that every day they're pulling along with them. And I think, why? Like, humans, we can't control what other humans do to us emotionally, but we can control how we react to those emotions. And by all means, have a pity party. I call it like a little sit in the shit tip for a little bit, and and honor how you feel, and really own it. But you know, you've got to try, after a small period of time, to let it go and purge it,
Yeah.
because whatever that soul contract that you have with that person, maybe they were meant to do that for you to learn and grow. Whenever I've had relationships end or cease or no longer happen, on reflection from that, I've learned so much about myself, and then I've evolved a healthy opinion, but I've had to purge it. So for me, I often say, for myself and for my clients, to write a letter, say whatever you need to say in there, and then burn it, or go for a walk along somewhere where some we're very blessed at Coffs Harbour. They're not very busy beaches, so you can always go along for a walk. And I call it a swear word walk, but we won't say that word. But it's like, if you're an onion, you're going to let go of the layers, and you're going to scream and shout, and you can
Yeah.
have a conversation that you may not have been able to have with the person that you're upset with, but you're going to
Yeah.
let it go, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, whether it's purge letters, you might need to write 3 or 4 to the person, or the naughty walk to let it go.
Yeah.
It's just so then you're no longer ruminating in that negative energy, because again, you don't want to get to heaven and they go, oh, you've been cranky about that for 20 years. Like, the lesson is to let it go. So
Yes. Exactly. I've learned a really good technique in the last few weeks. I had a
yeah.
driver yell at me one day because I had the windows down because it was a nice day finally in Melbourne. And he said to me, because I didn't see he was indicating and I was in the wrong lane, I needed to go right, he needed to go left. So I've just moved over because there was a space. He said to me, you're the reason why humanity is the way it is. It's in such a bad state because of people like you. I got so upset. And it's like, oh, so for the next 5 minutes, I was angry. Then something said to me, stop. Drop into your heart space, Charles, and send it back to him. Don't accept it. So I just sat there and I'm driving and the traffic was stopped. So I just dropped into my heart space and said, you know what, my friend, I'm not accepting this anger from you. This is not mine. This is yours. I'm dropping into my heart and I'm actually sending it back to you. And I sent it back to him and I could actually feel it leave. I could actually feel it go. And then the universe said to me, now, what you need to learn with that was you possibly prevented him from doing something that was going to be detrimental to him. So if you had have let him in, he might have turned left and had a car accident. So they said to
Yes.
me, you don't know why we do what we do, but there's a bigger purpose, there's a bigger reason. So what they wanted me to understand was he just needed to vent. You were the unlikely person or the unfortunate person that took the venting, but don't own it, send it back. Does that
Mm.
make sense? So I took it, I sent it back to him, and I thought the next day, yeah, you're right. I don't know what I might have prevented him from. He might have been 5 minutes late, but that might have saved him from hitting a tram. It might have saved him from running a child over because he was angry, whatever it was. So I was just like, yep, drop into the heart, return to sender, I'm not doing it anymore. And that's a
Mm,
really good way to deal with your anger. Is this mine?
mm,
Because if it's not mine, I'm returning it to whoever it belongs to.
yeah. Because sometimes we can be overlaid by other people's energies for sure.
Yes, it's exactly right. It's exactly right. So there's funny experiences, like when you said you need to send people to the beach and get them to scream. I did a healing here at home, and I said to the lady, "Let it go. Whatever's bugging you, let it go." And I just thought she'll do it in her head. The top of her lungs, she screamed for like 3 minutes, and I just thought, "Oh my goodness gracious me, the police are going to come any minute." Thinking, "What have I done to this woman in the healing?" And at the end of the 3 or 4 minutes, nobody came knocking. Nobody, none of the neighbours, because it was like 8 o'clock at night. Nobody came anywhere. And I said to her at the end of the screaming, "So how do you feel now?" She goes, "Oh my God, I feel amazing. It all went." And the next day I saw the neighbor. They said, "Did you hear the lady screaming last night?" She goes, "No, I didn't hear a thing." And it's like, oh my God, the universe works in such fabulous ways. She needed to scream. Nobody heard it. It just all came out. It's like, okay. And all I was saying to her is, get it out, get it out, get it out. I don't care that people are screaming. Just get it out. It's good for you to release it. And she got rid of it and felt like $1 million.
Yes.
It's very important.
Yes.
It's very important. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that because of that false positive, people sometimes don't actually ever allow themselves to feel it in the
Yeah,
essence
that's exactly
of
right.
yeah, of letting the emotion out, whether it's crying, screaming, yelling.
Yeah. And that's,
Yeah.
I say to people, don't suppress anything. You
Mm,
don't want to suppress anything. You just need to release everything. That's why when you said before, be grateful, have gratitude. Yeah, journal it, write these people a letter, go and burn it so that you're putting the energy of the anger and whatever into the pen, into the paper, and you're writing it, you're getting it out. And
mm,
then burn them, put them in the garden, write a few of them. As you said, you might have to write it 3 or 4 times until it's all out. Let
mm,
it go, get rid of it.
mm.
And otherwise, it's just going to manifest in your body as illness, and you don't want to go there.
Absolutely not. No, not at all. So yeah. So then, and I even actually think when you're grounding, sometimes even having a good dance,
Yes,
have a good boogie.
yes, yes. Dancing brings joy.
Mm,
And joy raises your vibration. So when you're in those elements, dancing, singing, you're moving. So the energy that might be a little bit stagnant in your body wants to be released. So we do that a lot. When Sean's not home and I'm cleaning, I've got the day off, whatever it might be. I'll put YouTube on. I'll put all of my favorite hits on, and I'm singing to them and I'm dancing to them. And it's just like,
yeah,
yeah, let's just have a little bit of a boogie, and it always feels good. You always feel empowered and uplifted after you do it.
absolutely.
You might look stupid, but you know what? I don't really care.
Mm,
But it's about me feeling good. Music is the key to your emotions. So
yeah.
sometimes if you're struggling to remain grounded because you've got all these emotions going on in your body, play some music because music wants to trigger you. Music is the key that unlocks those emotions. So I've got a playlist. If I need to cry, I'll listen to particular music and I'll cry. If I'm flat or I'm really low in energy, I've got music that wants to pick me up and I'll just go with that music. It's like, yeah, very high energy music and it lifts me up. So find music that works for you so that you can use that to help unlock stuff inside you and help uplift you as you go. I've got a playlist just for that.
Oh, perfect. Yes. I
Yeah.
didn't realize how bad a singer was until I turned the music down one day and was like, oh,
And no, you know what, Joe? It's just we sing on, a different level. Our octaves are much higher. We sing to the angels. We sing to the universe. We sing to all
that's
the
right.
different people.
Yeah,
And
but
their
a good,
hearing's perfect. We can't hear well enough. That's all.
no, that's right.
Love it.
And I think also the other thing I went to this year for the first time was I went to a sound healing.
Okay,
And
how was that?
oh, I loved it. It was great. There was a lovely lady in Bellingen that did a sound healing. And in that aspect of it, before we did the sound healing, she did some, I don't know what she called it, but it was just like free flowing dancing to the music.
Yep,
And
yep,
gosh, it was great. So that's also
yep,
another way of just getting out of your head and into your body,
yep.
you know?
Yeah,
She's a
coming
lovely
back to
person.
the body.
So,
Coming back to the
yeah,
body. Breathing. Breathing is really good too, because people
yeah,
don't breathe deeply enough. So if you can
no,
just take a few long, deep breaths, that just
yeah.
brings you back to center, brings you back to grounding.
Mm,
So, but chakra dance is really good for that too. You move to the different music, and yeah, we used to do
yeah,
that at Circle. We did some chakra dancing. It was very, very powerful. So
yeah,
there's lots of
yeah.
techniques, Joe. As you've said, there are lots of techniques that we can use to remain grounded, so that we can maintain our light, and try and attract more light. So there's
Mm.
lots of little tips there. So you can, crystals, you can breathe, you can dance, you can sing, chocolate. Also, your root vegetables like beetroots and things like
Yeah.
that, carrots, potatoes, things that grow on the ground. They sort of want
Yeah.
to anchor you into the ground. Do you know what I mean?
Very much so.
So there's lots of things that you can do, meditation, stuff like that. But come back to nature. Nature is the most amazing healer, and
Absolutely.
people don't understand that. All of our drugs come from nature. So
Mm.
nature just wants she just wants to hold you. Nature just wants to hold you and give you a big cosmic hug. And that's what
Mm.
I say to people. Go and sit on the grass and just, feel, be felt. Watch the birds in the sky. Watch the clouds. Turn your
Yeah.
mind off. Just be present and just do little things like that.
Even when I was young, if I was sick and I had to have a day off school, all I wanted to do was take a towel and lay outside in the grass. Where my mum would be, don't lay on the damn grass, but that's all I wanted to do. That I knew that would help me physically feel better.
Yes.
So
Yes. And
yeah,
the sun is really
yeah,
good, because the vitamin D from the sun. So the sun wants to uplift you and replenish you.
yeah,
So, be mindful if you've got sensitive skin or whatever it might be, take your precautions. But the sun is really good to uplift. You feel the warmth on your skin and it just feels, this feels nice. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? So that's why as a youngster, you were possibly out on the lawn because it's like, I just want some of that vitamin D from the sun's rays.
yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, so I often think, when people are in a bit of a flat spot or a funk, when you say to them, "Oh, have you hydrated? Have you got
Yeah.
outside and grounded? Have you showered?" Especially if they're in a big bad funk and they haven't gotten off the lounge. Have you
Yeah.
eaten good food? Most of the time they'll go, "No," like it to you. So, you know, uh, it's just to help yourself to feel better. Only we
Correct.
can do that for ourselves.
Correct. That's it. So we've given you some tips. We've given you some guidance as to how you can do it for yourselves. And then if you struggle with all of those things and you're doing those things, that's when you come and see Joe or you come and see me because we'll use
Yeah,
some other techniques that we can help you with that pull you back into your body. Because sometimes I get customers here and they're up with the stars. It's like, come back to earth, people, come back to earth. You can't play up there. We live in the 3D world. You need to be in your body. So we pull them back. Very
absolutely.
special.
Grounding, and there's an earth star, a meter below our feet, and often, my first thing when I started healing is to ground them into the earth star.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's very special. We have to bring them back. Too many people want to come out of the body and just play up here. No, 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 no. We're having a 3D experience. We might be off the higher dimensions, but you've got to be here. You've got to be ready to go.
Very much so. Yeah,
I love it,
yeah,
Joe.
yeah. And also, I think like looking at a fire is also really nice to help ground your energy in.
That's a good way to meditate too.
Yeah,
That's a really
yeah.
good way to turn your mind off. Just watching the flames. You don't have to think, but you're just watching. What are the flames doing? That's a really good way for your mind to have a bit of respite. You can just watch the flames. What is it doing? And that's a really good way to, ground,
Mm,
meditate. Very
yeah,
special. Very, very
absolutely.
special.
So
I love it.
yeah. So and the other thing is animals. Animals ground you really well.
Yes, 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 yes.
So
That's the thing.
if
If you've
you've
got
got
cats and dogs, sit with them on your lap.
yeah,
Sit with them on your lap because you'll stroke them. And they're very in tune. Animals are very in tune. So they'll want to come to you as well. If they know that you're stressed or anxious, they'll come to you. So they'll give
mm,
you a heads up if you're not aware. Just sit with them, pat them, do what you need to
mm,
do with them.
absolutely. One of our children wasn't well the other day, and he was laying on the lounge, but all the dogs wanted to sit on top of him and be with him. But I was trying to explain to him, even though he wasn't really keen about it. I was like, they're trying to help you, like
Yes, yes.
because you're not feeling well. So
Yes, and they can sense that. They can sense that the energy is not where it is. It feels flat. Let's just go and sit with him. And that's possibly their way of offering energy to uplift you a little bit.
yeah,
Very special.
absolutely.
Animals are very special like that. They're very underrated. And as you said, it's a very good way for people to be grounded,
Mm.
just by holding and stroking and, feeling the love from the animal.
Well,
Very
they give
special.
so much unconditional love, don't they?
They do. They really
Mm.
do. It's very, very special. That's a really good technique, Joe. That's a really good technique. So, go and play
Mm.
with your animals for a while because it brings you back to being present. throwing the
Yeah,
ball or throwing a stick for a dog or, patting the cat, whatever it might be. Really good way
yeah.
to turn this off. Let's give it some
Yeah,
time.
I find for lots of little children that um, are finding it hard to resonate with earth energy. So,
Yeah.
they've come in probably from another planet, and earth is so dense and hard for them to assimilate with. I often suggest to the parents for them to buy a dog, hopefully a rescue
Yeah.
dog, because then,
Yeah.
it's helping out a poor little dog in a pound. But
Correct.
yeah, and that helps them. It sort of gets them out of their little funk, and they become other animal centered, but so they're caring for that animal. It's grounding their energy into earth better because it's an animal. So
And if that's right, and if they're feeling Earth is dense, the child, the animal's going to lift them up.
correct.
It's going to top them up with energy. So it's going to lift them up so that they feel more centered, more grounded in this world. And it's like, aha, now I've got the energy. I can sort of get on with it and see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I often think the kids. My analogy is, do you know back in the day when our grandparents had a record player and it was two different.
45 and 33,
Yeah,
the
that's it.
speeds. Yeah.
And they're just at they're at the wrong energy,
Yeah.
so the wrong
Yes.
thing. So it's like,
Yes, the speed's wrong.
yeah. So
Yeah.
often I kind of go, oh, guides in the heavens, please change their energy so they, you know, can have a good experience here on Earth.
Yeah. 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 That's exactly right. The speed's too high or the speed's too low. Tweak it so that they get what they need.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
analogy. I like that. I really like that.
yeah,
That's very good. That's very
yeah. Feel
special.
free to use it.
I might, Alice. I might. That's good. Now, Joe, do you do online healings and things like that for customers, or how do they book with Joe? What's the purpose there?
So yeah, I do Facebook readings. So as long as I can see the person through my phone, I can offer them healing.
Yep.
So yeah, so through Facebook, but they would actually go Ring Alchemy to book with me.
Okay.
We don't, just because our clinic's a bit big. Um, and most of us have many different treatments that we offer. So, and
Yep.
some of them are hour and a half, some of them hour. So it's too hard for us to do online. So you would call Alchemy and Belgian to book in with me, whether it's a literal healing in my room or on FaceTime. So
Yep.
yeah. And how about you, lovely Charles? How would you
Yeah, I
be
do
booking?
both. It depends on what the treatment is. It's the same as you. So I do the tarot reads. Tarot reads I can do anywhere, and I'll just like yourself. It's on Facebook Messenger if they're
Yeah,
interstate. I've read for people overseas. It's very good. It's very easy.
yeah,
And all of my healings I can do remotely as well. So the Pelua, the Egyptian healings, the clairvoyant healings. The only thing that I have to do in person is the QHHT, the quantum healing hypnosis technique. And that's about a 6 or 7 hour session. So that one you want to be in person. But other than that, yep. And they can just book it all on the website because my schedule's there. They can pick. There's a little debrief about what each one is, the costs there, and then off they go. So, but yeah, that's how they can book with me.
mm, mm.
Very
So
special.
yeah,
Very good.
absolutely. So yeah, so I think I don't have any bookings till May at this point because we're in 2nd of April right now. But yeah, but I love helping people. Love it.
Yeah.
So
And I
it's
think
my
that's what we're both here to do. I think we're both here. This is our purpose, Joe. Our
yeah,
purpose is to uplift, show them how to
yes,
hold the light, give them the light.
yeah. And especially my guides always give me the analogy of it's like the ripple effect, because if a mum comes to me, for example, and she's feeling a bit flat and needs a healing, then when I help her, then she's going to go home and be not a better mum but a happier mum. And then her kids are going to be happier, and then if she's with a partner, her partner's going to be happy. So and same with my courses. I love doing courses because I know that by me teaching someone else how to be a clairvoyant or do healings, then they're going to go off and help more people, and then that's the ripple effect.
Yeah, I got told the same thing. Charles, you don't see the outcomes. You see one person, but then that one person goes and
Mm,
changes the family. And then when the family changes, that spreads out to the kids at the school ground. And so
yeah,
it's exactly the same analogy, the ripple effect. You see
yeah,
one person, you think, did I even make a change in that person sometimes? But they do because they feel lighter. And then it just goes out. It just
Yeah.
goes beyond. And that's what we're here to do. Uplift them, show them how to hold the light, show them how to find their own light. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But in the interim, we clean out their heavy so that we
Yeah.
can lift them up, support them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because it's just like, oh, uh, I think that's, God sent us here, or the divine creator, to help people find their light and let their light shine.
Yeah. And that's possibly why we're reconnected, Joe, in this
Possibly.
lifetime, because we've been connected in many lifetimes. And this lifetime is like, this is the go lifetime. Let's do it. Let's make them, let's help them however we can so that they can be the brightest versions of themselves that they
Yes.
can be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
yeah, so this is our lovely little way of doing it together, the Charles and Joe show.
correct. The Charles and Joe Show. So this is episode 1 complete.
Complete.
And we'll have themes. We'll have themes every week, won't we, Joe? We'll try and do them every
Absolutely.
week. And we'll have themes, and then we're going to do some meditations along the way, and share what we might have found online or whatever, so that if
Mm,
it uplifts other people, let's go with
yep.
that. So yeah, we've got lots coming, lots and
Yes.
lots coming.
Yes. Well,
Yes,
yes. So, and if you have any questions when we upload them onto our Instagram page, and if you have any questions that you would like us to answer, please pop
yeah,
them in there, and then we can answer them the following week.
yeah. Yeah, and like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and Instagram so that we can build a community of people. We want to build a community of people that want to be uplifted. And if we can share some techniques and some little wisdom every week that helps you, or this could be your little escape for the week that you can interact with us. And we're going to do some live interactions too. Then you can throw questions at us live. We're going to do that. So, yeah, this can be a little outlet for the week, little you
Yes.
time. We love
Yes,
that.
we love it. So,
We love
and
you.
we get to share an
Okay.
hour of our week together. Thank you,
Correct.
lovely.
Thank you. Thanks for the idea. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes. So, bye for now. Lots of love, and I hope you have a week full of gratitude.
Yeah. Enjoy your week. Namaste.
Yes.